That's what today's sermon is about.
Mother's Day.
No, we're going to skip that. We're going to Father's Day. No, it is. It's Mother's Day. Of course, it's Mother's Day, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be honoring mothers, which I believe is the right thing to do on Mother's Day. It's a special day. And moms are kind of special to us, aren't they? And of course, we honor all mothers, grandmothers, stepmoms, surrogate moms, and moms who lived down the street and didn't actually have any children, but took care of everybody's children, right? We celebrate all those folks. And I think it's right that we do it. I think the Bible tells us that we're supposed to honor our fathers and our mothers, our fathers. You get your day next month, but this is Mom's Day, right? This is the day we celebrate moms. Now, I think, it's fair to say that all moms aren't perfect, right? That, I think that's a fair statement since they're human beings, right? And there are no perfect human beings. But I think moms, like most of us, do the very best they can. It's not perfect. They're going to make mistakes, but they try to do the very best they can to raise their children in a loving way. There is no book on being a mom, is there? There's nowhere that tells you exactly how to do it, how to get it right. This is the steps you take. I mean, there's some people who've read some stuff like that, but they're just trying to sell a book, okay? But let's be real, there is no one way to do it, is there? There's no one way to be the perfect mother, right? It helps if you're a female. I'm saying it helps. It's not probably necessary, but it helps. So, there's some dads that have had to play both roles through their child's life, and they've done a good job. But it's hard to find that model, right? Who is the perfect mom? A lot of us see these folks on TV, and I think we try to compare our moms with those moms, and or we even try to compare ourselves to those moms. Well, I should be like that. Maybe I should be June Cleaver or Marion Cunningham or Florida Evans or Claire Huxtable or one of those TV moms. Or some of you younger people don't even know who these people are, but some of you older people who watch TV back when they actually had families on TV. Remember that? There were family stories. Remember that? So we modeled our moms after that. Or why isn't my mom June Cleaver? Well, not all moms are going to be June Cleaver. Not all moms are written into that script, are they? And those moms depicted different cultures, didn't they? Different cultures and different times. And times have changed, and the role of moms changes. It used to be moms didn't work a long time ago. Moms didn't work. They just stayed home for the most part. Now we have working moms. They're trying to juggle jobs and juggle all kinds of responsibilities, right? But overall, I think most moms are interested in watching out for their children, right? I think one of the most predominant traits that you'll find in a mom is that moms are pretty protective of their young, right? Right? You can mess with some moms, but you mess with their kids. Yeah, that's not a good place to be, I'm just saying. That's not where you want to go. That's not what you want to do. But I think most moms are pretty protective. They love their kids, and they're going to watch out for them, they're going to protect them. And they can say bad things about their kids, but don't you say nothing bad about their kids, right? You know what I'm talking about. You've been there, right? They're kind of protective. How many of y'all remember when you used to drive cars that didn't have power steering?
Oh, yeah.
Right? When you didn't have automatic transmission. Some of you remember that, right?
Yeah.
When you could go somewhere with as many people as you could fit in the car. You remember that? It wasn't about seatbelts back then. You remember?
Yeah.
You remember? You could cram a good 8 to 9 people in a car back in the day.
And then send someone laugh.
There was some driving with kids on their lap. You remember that?
Put 2 in the trunk, too.
2 in the trunk. Now, we're not talking about drive-ins now. We're not talking about trying to get this drive-in free. We're talking about just going for a regular ride. So you can get a lot of folks in a car, couldn't you? Back before they even had seatbelts, right? They didn't have seatbelts, right? And then seatbelts, power steering came along, right? You remember that?
How about
seven teenagers in a 49 Ford pickup.
I'm sure somehow that is not safe. But you know, the funny thing is we all survived, right? We all survived that. Then the government got involved, so we need seat belts, and we need this, and the car started to develop, right? We got power steering, and we got, you know, automatic transmissions, and things changed, right? And then you got seat belts, and then you had car seats, right? Car seats came along, and I'm not sure what the current rules are. I think it's up to like, you gotta be over 40 pounds or 4 or 5 years old or something like that before you can get out of a car seat, and once you get out of a car seat, then you gotta sit in a booster seat for so many years, and you can't even sit in the front seat till you're like 12 years old or something like that. I mean, they got all these rules and regulations about how to keep you safe. Because I think the airbags will hurt kids in the front seat. I think that's why they got that rule built on there. But how many of y'all remember the original car seat? I mean, seat safety belt. You remember the original first seat safety belt?
It just was a lap.
Yes, it always is.
No, before that. Before the lap belt. There you go. You remember that? Hey, I know you remember it now, right? You driving down the road, mom driving, got 4 kids in the back, 3 in the front, you know, squeezed in there. And all of a sudden, someone pulls out in front of you. And mom hits the brake, and at the same time becomes Stretch Armstrong. That arm reaches all the way over and across the chest of all those children, right? Keeping them all safe, right? Protecting them, right? Mom was the original seatbelt. I don't know if that actually kept you safe. You probably could have still gone through the windshield, but you would have taken mom's arm with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that arm was there to protect you. How many of you have ever bent that arm? How many of you moms? Yeah? First reaction, right? How many of you have been sitting in the seat when all of a sudden this arm flew across you? You knew it was time to panic, right? Something's going on. You could be talking, all of a sudden this arm flies. Whoa, wait a minute. We're in trouble, right? But that's the way mom protected us, right? She was our seatbelt. She kept us safe. You know, I think moms have been the seatbelts of family for a long time. In a lot of different ways. Sometimes she was a seatbelt just by being present. You know, she was the last face you saw before you headed off to school. And she was the first face you saw when you came home. Right? She was the one who told you you had to do homework before you went out to play. Even though you didn't like it. Mom was in charge, right? And she had your best interest at heart. You know, maybe she was the one who was at your ball game, yelling the loudest. And if you had one of those unusual names, you couldn't even hide from it. Because when she yelled out your name and everybody knew that was your mom. Right? Even when it was a little embarrassing, she still loved you. She was cheering for you and she was pulling for you. Because that's what moms do, isn't it? Sometimes it wasn't just about being present. Sometimes she was a role model for us, wasn't she? You know, we look at mom. Mom gave everything she had, whether it was at home, and her cooking, and her cleaning, and taking care of the house, and being a good housekeeper, homemaker, looking for a word, homemaker, or whether she went off to work. You know, we knew mom was all in. She did whatever it took. She was involved in church, and she said, you know, she let us know that anything that was worth doing what?
Well,
All right, that's right. Anything. She talks about being responsible. And not only being responsible, because with responsibility comes what? Accountability. And she let us know we were accountable for things too. She praised us when we were right, and she let us know when we were wrong. Some of us more than others. I can tell you from keeping ISD as an ISD monitor, some moms today need to let kids know when they're wrong. Because there's a lot of children that don't know when they're wrong. But they were. They kept us safe growing up. Sometimes it was just that stable presence, you know, in the midst of change, when you had to move, change neighborhoods, or change schools, change friends. She was that stable force. She was that one that was always there, right? She was the one that was your anchor. You knew you could go to. She always had her arms that you could sink into for that decompression place, that place that you could just decompose, you could just relax and be yourself. She was that mom that took care of you, right? That loved you. Moms are truly a gift from God. They truly are. And I mean, I can tell you, I thank God for my mom, for my stepmom. I thank you for the ladies in my life that have influenced me and kept me on the right path. You know, sometimes I would do something wrong in the neighborhood and they would get home before I would. You know, how many of you ever done that, right? You remember that? I don't care if it was a party line, they'd call, you know, they'd find a way, smoke, signal, something, but my mom knew when I got home what I'd been up to before, you know, and you held accountable for those things, right? But I'm glad, because it made me the person that I am. It taught me responsibility. They used to teach a thing called manners, right? You remember that? Remember teaching your kids about manners? Most people have to look that word up today. They don't know what that is, right? Right? You know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. Open the door for ladies. You know, those things have kind of gone away, and it's kind of sad, isn't it? So the whole level of respect that we used to have for people who are older than us just kind of disappeared. I'm sad for that. I'm sad for what it means for this country. But there's hope. You know why? Because there's grandparents. That's right. Because grandparents can still teach their grandkids if they didn't teach their kids. Amen?
Amen.
But moms, we do celebrate you. I think moms are fantastic. I can't say enough. I'm thankful for, like I said, for my mom. I'm thankful for Pam and the influence she has over our children. I think she's truly a blessing. I'm thankful for all of y'all. I think you're fantastic. And it's right that we honor you today. And it's right that we celebrate you today. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. As I looked to prepare a sermon this week, I tried to think of biblical moms. You know, what do the biblical moms do? And I kind of settled on Mary. Now, that's got to be a hard job, doesn't it? By the way, you can be the mother of God. How do you prepare for that? There's no training. I know there's not a book for that. I know. I mean, I went and looked. There's not. There's no book about how to be the mother of God. And it had to be a rough start because she was an unwed mother. She was engaged, but then when she conceived, she wasn't married at the time. So that had to be a rough start, right? But somehow her and Joseph and God, they worked it all out, didn't they? And Jesus was born. And he was born like any other child. And I know that was painful. Because it's not like today. There's no epidurals. There's no knock me out. It's like, can you increase the IV a little bit? There's none of that. There's no pain-free deliveries. I've been in enough delivery rooms to tell you that hurts. Okay? That's not a pain-free situation. And I think children today don't appreciate the pain that their mothers went through so they could be here. Right? And I know men don't appreciate the pain that their wives go through. I don't think you really have a really good clue of that, but it's very painful. And if for no other reason, for that amount of pain for a person to go through, you should be grateful for the rest of your life that your mother gave you life. Because that's an experience. So Mary gave birth. She was dedicated. She went through that. She delivered. We don't hear much out. We hear that when her and Joseph were warned of the threat of Herod to the baby, they picked up everything and they moved, right? They moved to Egypt. Well, that's a little bit of a sacrifice, isn't it? Well, let's just pick up everything and move. You know, gather all our belongings and we're going to move hundreds of miles away for the baby. That's a little bit of dedication, don't you think? It's sacrificial, isn't it? Mothers make sacrifices for their children. They do. I can remember A lot of times they do without. I can remember my daughter as a teenager coming to me and saying, I'm not having kids, Dad. As a parent of a daughter, teenage daughter, you welcome that statement, just so you know. And you say, that's good. I'm with you. No children for you is good, good. Just keep that thought. And but then you push, you say, well, why? Just out of curiosity, not to change your mind, but just out of curiosity, why would you not want to have children? Because they got to give up stuff. They got to give up stuff for their kids. You know, they got to do without so their kids can have. And I'm just too selfish a person. She's honest. She was honest about it. You know, today she's a mother of two. You know, life has a way of changing your perspective on things and what they cost, doesn't it? Amen? But moms do have to give up, right? They do give stuff up. They do without, so we can have. I'm thankful for that. The next time I think we see Mary is where Jesus is at the temple, right? They've gone to the temple and they leave and they get down the road a good ways, and all of a sudden it's like, you got Jesus? No, you got Jesus? Nobody's got Jesus. Where's Jesus? Anybody seen Jesus? Jesus is lost. Now Jesus is a teenager. But Jesus is still lost. He's not with the family, and they realize this down the road. Now, talk about some anxiety, right? Talk about some worry. Have you ever misplaced a child in a department store for 5 minutes? Do you know how fast your heart can beat without actually exploding? That's all you have to do to find out, right there. There's some anxiety there. And with each passing second, you worry a little bit more about what could have happened to that child. And your imagination starts to run wild with you, don't it? And you get all crazy. You just like imagine the very worst things. Why? Because you're a mom and you worry, and that's what you do. Right? You might even get a gray hair, too. I remember the story of a little girl that was watching her mom cook, and she noticed her mom had a couple of gray hairs out there in her brunette hair. She said, Mom, why is your hair gray? She said, well, every time you do something that causes me to worry, I get a gray hair. Okay. She sat there a few more minutes, and she said, well, Mom, how come Grandma's hair is all white? That stuff comes back around. I understand. When Tori calls me about her boys doing something, I just laugh. Because I know she had already done it for herself in school. But children do cause us to worry. You can imagine the worry that Mary had. She couldn't just get in a car and drive back to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
She had to walk, or run, or jog, or skip. But she had to get back, and it was going to take some time. So if you can imagine what 5 minutes of not knowing about your child is like, then you try to imagine her journey back to Jerusalem. She worried, just like the rest of us. We worry about our children. When they're not with us, we worry about them. We trust that we've brought them up right, we've raised them right, they're going to make the right choices. They're not going to call us from jail. Want us to post bond. You know? Or we're not going to get a call from the hospital because they did something that started with, hey, y'all watch this. And we hope they make good choices. But we worry about them, don't we? We worry about our kids. We worry that they'll grow up and they'll live long and healthy lives. And Mary was no different. Right? And she gets there, and what's he doing? No, he wasn't turning over the tables then, but he was teaching. He was actually teaching. He was teaching. He's 12 years old and he's teaching people about scriptures, which lets us know that Mary also made sure that he had a religious upbringing. Right? That he knew his scriptures. That he was involved with his faith. That he could teach. I guess you could say she got him to church. How many of y'all got to church because mom got you to church on Sundays growing up? I can tell you, I went to church, it wasn't an option. It wasn't like, you feel like going to church? Never heard that question in my life. So you ready yet? I heard that question. We're going to church. It wasn't an option. Whether it was my mom or my stepmom, it was the same with both of them. If the church doors were open, we were there. I thought that was my home. I was there so often. Religious upbringing is an important part of raising children, isn't it? Yet today, a lot of folks don't take care of that aspect. And I encourage most folks to do just that. You gotta get involved in church. You gotta be able to tell them the stories. You know, can your children even tell the basic Bible stories? I guess would be a good question. Do they know any of the stories? If the Bible just automatically was gone tomorrow, how long would it be before all the stories were dead? Think about that for a minute. If we don't tell the stories, who will? It's our responsibility, right? And Mary took care of her responsibilities. We're told later that her and Jesus' brothers came to see Jesus, and when he found it, they couldn't get to him because there was a crowd of folks. And when they told him, your mother and your brothers are out there, he said, well, who are my brothers and who are my sisters? He said, the people who believe are my brothers. He redefined what it meant to be a brother, didn't he? I wonder how much that hurt when Mary heard that. You know, sometimes we do things that might hurt our parents. Sometimes we say things that hurt our parents. We don't mean them. You know, have you ever said something that hurt your mom or your mom? And wish you hadn't said it? Took it back. Have you ever said something to your mom and she made you wish you hadn't said it? I know. No, you don't have to raise your hand. I know. I can tell by your reaction. You know what I'm talking about. That's not a strange concept. Because you know, we need to watch what we say. Words hurt. Words define. But even in the end, at the final scene, when he's at the cross, who's there with him? Mary. When his friends and his followers had left him, I think John was the only one there. His mother was there, and she watched her son die a brutal death. You know, we celebrate that Christ died for our sins because that's good news to us, right? That's good news to us. But how was that to Mary? Kind of puts a human face on it, doesn't it? That was her son. It makes him great. It makes him lovable and to be admired, and we do. I think Mary had many of those traits that we wish moms had, that all moms had. I think Mary had many of those traits that most moms do have. And we celebrate that. Because you may not be June Cleveland or Claire Huxtable, but I think most moms are doing the very best they can, and that's all any of us can do. Today I celebrate you. Happy Mother's Day. And all God's people said, Amen.